So all of you, we are discussing the difference between fundamental and the derived data type. Well, you already know that the fundamental data types are your basic data type. So fundamental data type is the basic data type. Just like we know that the character, integer, float, void, these are the fundamental data types. So fundamentally you say that which are already there built in into the system. So system has given us some data types. These are the character, integer, float, void, and they are also called the primitive data type. So if somebody say primitive data type, fundamental data type or basic data type, so they all are having the same meaning, and you have to give out the answer as character, integer, float and the void. Sometimes the double is also given, but double is also considered into the float. So that's why we are focusing on these four majorly. Now, derived data type. The data types which are taken from fundamental data type are called the derived data type. So, talking about derived data type is the aggregation of fundamental data type. If I talk about the aggregation means that something is taken from other thing. Derived data types are taken from the fundamental data type. Means derived are not there into the system. They are present into the system, and from the system we have taken the derived data types. Just like we have taken few example, let us suppose that integer is there. This is a fundamental data type, and int a I can assign. Now by this int a, I am going to reserve one memory of the system. Similarly, there is one more data type which is derived, taken from fundamental, that is array. So there I say int a5. Now this is an array of 5 element. So by this 5 memories will be stored into the system. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So these 5 memory of integer type is saved, and here only one memory is saved, right? So this one is basically derived from this one. That's why it is called the derived. Derived is not having their own existence into the system. They are taken from the basic data type or the fundamental data type. So if I just go with the fundamental data type first, you know that character, integer, float and void are there. Now talking about character, character is used to store the character elements, and they are classified into char, signed char, unsigned char. Character is the anomaly which we use into the system. Signed char. Signed char is that thing which contain your positive and the negative values. Unsigned char. Unsigned char only take the positive values, but the range changes with the unsigned. Now talking about your integer, which is the next one. Integer is used for storing the integer values, and it will not contain the decimal digit. So if I say that 1.1 I want to store, that is not possible, because in the integer only 11, 12, 1, 2 such whole numbers can be there. So integer don't have your decimal values, and it can be classified into signed and unsigned. See, signed and unsigned we can apply with any of the thing, integer, float, right? So signed character, unsigned character. Signed means the positive and negative. Unsigned means only positive side. And further they can be classified into int, short int, long int. Now these can also be applied short. Short, we know that it is having the small memory of the integer. If we want something less than the integer, that is short. Long, if in the integer we want the long range, then we want this long int. Further, the next one we are having is the float. So float is used for the decimal number All those numbers which was not stored into the integer can also be stored into float, like floating point 1.1, 1.7, 7.9. All these floating point values can be there. Okay, so decimal values can be stored and they can be classified into float, double, long double. So float double and long double, these comes under the float. That's why we are not taking the double as the separate data type. Then coming to the void, you know that the void is very much important, because without void the main function even cannot work. So the void are used for no return value, means anything which is not giving the value, that is called the void. Let us suppose that you want to print something on screen and you don't want return something. So void is there, your void main, and multiple functions even work with the void. If I sum up this, so this one is the character which we have discussed, having the char, signed character, unsigned character. Then integer we have discussed, where we are having your int, short int, long int, as well as signed int, unsigned int. Then we have discussed the float. In the float we are having the decimal values, which is float, double, long double. Then we have discussed the void. In the void there is no return value. So these are all four fundamental data types. Fundamental means something which is inbuilt into the system. Now from inbuilt we are deriving few things called as the deriving data type, and pointer, array, structure, union, these are the derived data types. If I go with the first one, which is pointer, pointer is used to store address of variable, or I can say that pointer is going to point to some of the memory. Both are the same thing. Let us suppose that I am having a memory into the system. Let us suppose that I have declared int a equal to 10. Now this one is the memory which is reserved into the system, named a, value is 10, but you know that this memory is having some of the address. Let us suppose that address is 101, that is the address, because every memory is having their own address. So value which we store is 10, the name of memory we have given is a, and 101 is the address of the memory. So pointer, if I declare, that pointer will store the address. Now this address will be stored into the pointer, or indirectly we can say that pointer will point to that memory address. So pointers are used for storing the address of variable. Well, I am giving you a slight thing. Let us suppose that you want to declare a pointer p of integer type. You will say int star p. So star p is now the pointer. So pointer can be declared by star p. Okay. Second one is your array. Array is the derived data type. Well, I was talking about pointer. You can see that pointer itself is taken from the integer, and integer is by default your fundamental data type. That's why the pointer is becoming your derived, not the inbuilt. So pointer is the derived data type. Now talking about array, array is very much popular because whenever you are going to perform any of the matrix program, you are going to store multiple students detail, you are going to store multiple entries, their array will come into picture. And as I have already told you, if I say int a5, so it is going to save 5 memory of integer type, or I may say that char w5. Now this w is the name of array, and it will store the 5 memory of the character type 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now there in the integer I can store 1, 2, 6, 7 and 8 because it is the integer type. In the character type I can store the character like A, B, C, F, D. So that is the difference between the character and the integer. Means integer values can be saved and here character values can be saved. I am giving few more examples of array. Let us suppose that I am having int a. This is the fundamental data type and I am saying int a is equal to 10. So only one memory is reserved and there the value is 10. If I go into the array of integer int a 5, now it will store the 5 memory 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now here I can also store the integer values. In the array of integer, we are having 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. These values we have stored. So the difference between the normal thing is that here only one memory is reserved, here 5 memories are reserved. If I take another example, char a. So character a will store one memory. But if I make the array of character, char a suppose 4. So 4 memories can be reserved. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these 4 memories can be reserved. Now here I can store only one value, let us suppose b. Here I can store the multiple values, 4 values. Let us suppose the b is there, then k, d, l. So here I am storing 4 values. Here I am storing only one value. So whenever I am taking same type of values together, like character values together, it is array. Integer type values together, integer array. Take out one more example of float. If I say float a, now here one memory is reserved, and if I say float a3, so here 3 memory is saved, float type. So here I can only say one value. Let us suppose that value is 1.1, but here I can store 3 values 1.1, 9.1, 11.6. So 3 values, same type, one value. So that is the difference. So array is something which is going to store the same type of values. Okay. So that is the feature of the array. Now let us suppose that this is my memory and there are different blocks into the memory. Let us suppose that here some of the block is filled. Now I have to declare A4. Let us suppose this is A4. So where can I declare? Let us suppose that these are the blocks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where I can declare the array? There are the multiple options like I can declare these 4 elements into block 1, 2, 3 and 5 because block 4 is already filled, or I can declare 5, 6, 7, 8. Which one will be the better option? If I say that I have such type of memory where from 1 to 8 and fourth block is filled and I want to store array of 4 elements, remember one thing, array will be sequential in manner. You cannot say that 1, 2, 3 block and jump with 1 block and 5. That is not possible in terms of array. Array will take out the sequence of the memories. So whenever it will find the 4 sequence, only that it can be declared, like 5, 6, 7, it is a sequence. So array, this memory will be reserved for that purpose because that is into the sequence. So array always store into the sequence, and this sequence can be of any type. Like suppose you declare this A4 of character type, so 5, 6, 7, 8 will be of character value. You are saying of integer, so these blocks will be for the integer. Now afterward, you can store here whatever you want. Let us suppose that these are the integer values. I will store 10, 11, 12, 13. Now I can store, and these values are now filled as the block 4. So now these are not free for the memory. So once they are reserved, they will not be the free. So this way array work. Then the next one, derived data type, is our structure. Structure is used to group items of possibly different type into the single type. Well, structure is somewhere different from array. In the array, you know that, let us suppose that the 5 memory I have reserved, and those 5 will store the same type of value. Means if I have declared the integer, so integer type of 5 blocks will be there. But here there is a possibility that I will create a structure. Let us suppose that this is a structure. Let us suppose that I am using the keyword struct for the structure, and the name of structure is A. And inside that structure I am saying there is integer, and there is suppose char W. So if anything having the different data types inside it, that is called the structure. Now what is the utility? If I take the example of array, let us suppose I want to store the 60 marks of the student. So you know that all the marks will be due to the integer value. So I can simply say int a 60. So 60 marks will be stored. Now this time the scenario is different. Let us suppose I am saying you save the grade of 60 students as well as their marks. Now for the marks, let us suppose that I am having this one X for the marks, and for the grade I am having character, because grade cannot be 1, 2, 3. Grade will be A grade, B grade or something, character type, and marks will be there, let us suppose 90 or something. So every student I want to store this one. So for that purpose I will create a structure, and or the structure of array, right, that will be created. Simply understand, whenever we want to store different types of values like integer, character, integer, float, character, any combination, if I want to store, that can be possible with the help of structure. So structure is there which can store the different types into the single type, that is called the structure. You see, I am taking one very simple example. Let's suppose that I have to store normally the marks of a student. So I will say int m. Okay. But let us suppose that I have to create a block. This was the block for integer. Now I have to create a block. There I want that there should be two parts. One part will store the student marks, and one part will store the grade of the student. Let us suppose that A grade or B grade. This time this complete block is having two values, and two values are different. 100 is of integer type and this is of character type. So whenever any single entity, because this complete block is a single entity and this single entity is having two different data types inside it, there I want the structure. Let us suppose that this complete entity named as S. This S entity is having two blocks, one of integer, one of character. Okay, integer will store the marks 100 and character will store the grade. So I will simply say struct, name of the structure is S, bracket. I will say the two blocks are there inside that. One is integer type. Let us suppose that int. I am saying that the name of this one is m. So int m. and this is having the character value. Let us suppose that it is grade G, so it is char G, close it. So this way the structure can be created. Now this structure S is like a complete block, and inside that one is integer part, one is your character part. So if this way you want to create a block, the memory of your own choice with different data type, that is the structure. So structure can be created. Let us suppose I want that the 5 subject marks of the student will be stored. So there will be 5 blocks for the marks 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, where the 5 marks will be stored. Let us suppose that this is them. Okay, and I want that the grade will be stored. This complete I want to make a structure. In that case, what I will say int m5, and I will say char G, so store into a structure S. That is also possible. So it is totally up to you how you want to declare a structure. Structure can have the array. Even structure can be created in terms of array. Means there can be multiple parts of the structure. Totally possible. Okay, all. So the last one we are taking is the union. Now talking about this union and structure both are same. In terms of grouping, union is like structure. That means similarly there will be the block. In that block I can say that there can be multiple further parts. One can be the integer, one can be character. The same thing is there. Only difference is that the memory. All members in union share the same memory location. If I compare your structure and union, in the structure, if I say, let us suppose structure S, int M. So there, separate block for M is declared. Then I say char G, then separate memory block for G is there. So G is this one, M is this one. It will store integer value, it will store the character value. But they are having different memories and combined together into the structure S. So the complete name is the S. But the memory is different. But if I talk about the union, they are sharing the same memory. The memory is same. Inside the same memory, the value will be integer. Let us suppose M, and the value will be character. Both values are coming here. Let us suppose that more values taken by the integer, so less value is available for the character. So the same memory is shared, that is the union. And if the same memory is not shared, individual memory is there, that is called the structure. So structure and union are same in concept. The concept like they are storing the different data types. But memory allocation both are totally different. Structure is having individual memory of the data type, and union is having the shared memory location. Same memory is used. So that is the only difference. So if I say that who will save the memory, union will save the memory. So this one is the difference between structure and the union.